What is FIA Tech's Trade Data Network?
The Trade Data Network is an initiative that the industry started to bring together all the disparate data sources in exchange-traded derivatives. I think, one of the hallmarks of our industry is the diverse landscape that firms can trade across, from, exchanges all over the world, different trading systems in the front office, different systems in the back office, buy side, sell side. But that diversity has made it really hard for firms to know what they've traded when. We really saw the worst of it on some of the high volume days. If you go back in time, Silicon Valley Bank, most recently, the outbreak of conflict in Ukraine, the shift to work from home during COVID, all those times we saw operational disruptions across the industry. And when those disruptions happen, the fact that systems don't speak the same language or have the same information in them made it really hard for brokers and their clients to know, what trades got done, which didn't, which give-ups have been sent off, and which ones hadn't. So TDN brings those data sources together. On top of it, we've got confirmation matching for clients to know really GPS track their trades, where they are globally. Have the trade been executed? It's been claimed by a clearer? Is it booked in the back office of their shop and their clearers? And we've now connected multiple exchanges. We've connected the largest clearing members on the street. We're executing brokers and clients onto it now. And last year, we went live with that kind of GPS tracking of trades for the industry in real time. And it's pretty compelling visual even to see, where you can just watch a trade flow across the systems across the industry. And you have the richness of all the trade IDs from the source systems, and you can really zero in if a trade gets booked wrong, who booked it wrong, which systems need to get fixed to make it right. The great part about that, it's almost like we're rolling out high definition television, but a lot of the TVs out in the market are still standard def. And to bootstrap that, we wanted to help clients understand how to take that real-time data into operations that, for the most part, are looking at things T+1. And to bootstrap that challenge, we decided to just sort of take front and center control over identifying a lot of the most problematic breaks, watch for those in real time, notify clients and their brokers proactively, so that they're not left watching a screen kind of in their own operations.
How big of a problem is this?
There's something booked wrong on a trade upwards of 10% of the time. And that's actually the challenge in doing futures matching, because it could be that the fees and commissions weren't recorded properly, or it could be an account identifier is changed by a digit, or they put a prefix on someone's initials or something like that, because a lot of the identifiers in futures are free text. And there's still a lot of systems that have manual touches on trades. So it's about being smart and ignoring kind of the chaff, which are things like that, which are important to get fixed, but don't necessarily create a risk event. And look for those events where a trade really was sent to the wrong broker, or a trade wasn't given up that you wanted to get given up. Some of the real hot button issues are a voice trade gets registered as a block at an exchange. That's still free text data entry at a number of exchanges. Buy-sell direction gets flipped on that trade. Those are risk events that clients want caught intraday as quickly as possible, and can give rise to really significant losses in the industry. Finding those needles in the haystack that, across the street, those happen a number of times a day if you look in aggregate. But for any given client, they're the things that might only happen once a month. And to find those are really the challenge of ops teams.
Why was FIA Tech the right organization to fix this problem?
We've been operating kind of in a similar space for a long time. We have connectivity to most of the exchanges globally, and we were processing the brokerage for most of the street. And what that means is that we're already matching and reconciling and finding a lot of these problems on trades. And we just wanted to really put this, take what we've been doing for brokers, between them and the exchange, and between each other, and bring this to the buy-side client servicing end of things, so that they can get the benefits of all the data we've aggregated over the years from doing it for brokerage. So we launched TDN to really put it out in front of the clients of the industry. The side benefits of it, though, are really substantial. Having a global ledger of all the trade information for a clearing broker can simplify some of their needs for trade reporting, for operational resiliency in terms of recovering from outages of their primary clearing system. So we continue to find a lot of interesting use cases beyond this client matching benefit, but delivering the service for the clients is where we all elected to start.
Why did you partner with eClerx on the help desk you are setting up?
Our path to finding eClerx is an interesting one. We partnered with them very early in our evolution, and the way we actually came across them is we began to see a lot of our customers had users with eClerx email addresses that were using all of our various systems for brokerage, for reconciliations, for managing documentation and reference data. They were our single largest population of users in aggregate across numerous firms on the sell side. And so we began working with them to do things like document digitization, helping digitize rate cards in brokerage. We've worked with them on reconciliation and remediation projects. And we, at one point, decided that they were really best placed to service, in partnership with us, our clients from a client support standpoint. So we've kind of joint ventured with them on a number of service lines. We have a support center in Mumbai that they operate, and they perform a lot of our client servicing with us, and they do a lot in our reference data operation as well. They frankly have just been a force multiplier for us in our ability to scale well. So with that backdrop of the work that they do for our customers and the work that they've already been doing for us, we found a really natural extension to build a trade date ops team in partnership with them. They outsource trade date operations and middle office operations and augment operations teams for a very large cross section of our community, from tier one, clears down to smaller brokers as well. And so they have a bench of people who've done futures, clearing, trade matching, trade booking, reversals, all the types of things that are relevant for this task. They had those very skilled, experienced resources at the ready to bring to this team. So we were able to launch it really quickly. I think we agreed with eClerx to launch the team in August, and we had it in a pilot operation all Q4. And now we're rolling it out across all clients on TDN as we speak.
How is the overall capital raising effort going?
It's going well. Since we took on the capital back in 2021, we've closed out our Series A now with 12 global banks and FCMs coming into the cap table. We've raised a total of $85 million across those firms, and still have FIA as a shareholder as well. So we very much wanted our ownership to reflect our focus on delivering value for the industry, and think we've done that. We've also established kind of product governance, both sell side and buy side. So we have a buy side governance group that weighs in on the product strategy and direction, that has some of the largest buy side firms, hedge funds, asset managers in it. And we also have a product governance group that consists of investors and non-investors and FIA alike. So we're very much taking our direction from the industry still. That part hasn't changed, even though the cap table and the ownership structure of how the industry is involved has changed.
Is FIA Tech making money?
We are investing heavily right now, the capital we've raised in the build and the rollout of the Trade Data Network initiative, but our core utilities that we operate, we've always sought to run them on kind of utility economics, but kind of positive gross margins, but kind of break even on the whole, including our expenses as a firm. And we're still very committed to operating low cost, scalable utilities for the industry in those core areas of reg reporting, reference data, documentation, brokerage, as we did in the past.
How was this year's FIA Asia?
The themes that made Singapore such an interesting event. I mean, Asia is just such a growth engine in futures right now, especially India. And I don't know that I've attended an FIA Singapore event that was as well attended as that one was. It was a really incredible event. From a panel standpoint, we were really talking about cybersecurity and operational resiliency. I think we had just sort of taken on board yet another ransomware incident that hit the financial industry in the U.S. That affected more of the fixed income clearing market than it did ETD. But yet again, it was the LockBit threat actor ransomware event that disrupted another one of our markets. So that was very much top of mind, and I would say it still is top of mind for many of us in the tech sector, and I think most people on the business side in securities and futures trading in the U.S. Any industry where you're tied into market infrastructure, you worry about that threat of losing a key counterparty or losing a key piece of infrastructure that the industry relies on. So I think the main thrust of it was that we know that the industry is going to have to embrace change in technology and security standards, in processes and operations, and we're going to have to look for ways to really make ransomware the new reality that everyone plans for from a disaster recovery standpoint.